Okay, this is the Tuesday homework check for the level 3, quarter 4, week 5. And here we are starting with rounding to the nearest 10 first. And you can see this 4 will stay the same. This 8 is going to round the 8 in the tens place up to a 9, and this 0 means we change this to a 0, or the circle means we change it to a 0. Now, I'm going to underline the hundreds place. So the 8 is going to round the 4 up to a 5. This circles to remind us to change everything else to zeros. Okay, moving right along. 545, underline the tens, circle the digit next to it. This 5 will not change, and the 5 bumps the 4 up to a 5. The circled 5 becomes a 0. And to the nearest 100, underline the hundreds place, but looky here, this 4 is not high enough to change the 5, so it will stay the same. Everything else becomes zeros. And the last one, 953, underline the tens, circle the digit to the right. We go ahead and copy the 9. The 3 is not high enough to change the 5, so it stays the same. Circle digit becomes a 0. And to the nearest hundreds, underline the hundreds place, circle the digit to the right. The 5 is high enough to round this 9 up to a 10, and everything else becomes zeros. And let's put in a comma, and we have 1,000. Moving right along. There are 48 ounces of orange juice in the pitcher. 6 people are going to share the orange juice. How many ounces of juice will each person receive? We've talked about things like sharing and how much will each person get. Those are clues that you need to do division. So 48 ounces divided among 6 people. Something times 6 is 48. 48. The cake is 48, and it was in the shape of an 8. So 8 ounces, you can abbreviate that OZ, of juice. That's what each person will get. We read our division backwards. Something times 7 equals 63. That is a nifty 9. I know, because if I add my digits here, they add up to 9. 54 divided by 6. Something times 6 is 54. Look, if I add the 5 and the 4, I get 9. That's one of my nifty 9s also. Something times 11 is 22. That would be 2 sets of 11 equals 22. And something times 8 equals 40. I know it's either going to be a 5 or a 10. And 4, it's 4 times 10 that's 40, but this is an 8, so it's going to be 5 times 8 is 40. Draw a fraction that is equivalent to 1/6. And I've told you guys, if you will do the doubling trick first, then draw it, you'll get it right. So let's do our doubling trick. Double 1 is 2. Double 6 is 12. And then I said if you will draw exactly what they had to begin with. So we need 3 pieces on each side. And they had colored in one of them. Now to double these pieces, we're going to split each of these pieces in half. Right down the middle. Now instead of having 6 pieces, I've got 12. And 2 of them are highlighted. So my picture matches now 2/12. Bill is eating a bowl of cereal. The cereal has a mass of 105 grams. The bowl has a mass of 440 grams. What is the total mass of his cereal and bowl? So that means we need to add the cereal and the bowl. 5 and 0 is 5. 0 and 4 is 4. 1 and 4 is 5. And what is the total mass? We have to give it in the units, and the units are grams. We already did the elapsed time problem, so scooting right along here. We have to do 2 things. We're going to do perimeter and then area. Perimeter, rim, a rim around the outside. And we add it all up when we're doing perimeter. We're taking a walk and we add up all the parts of the fence. So I'm going to start here. Okay, there's 4. Down 3. Now if you'll notice, if I go across, It's not listed, but if I look opposite, it tells me what that distance is. That's 2 feet. So down 4, across 2, down 3. This one's not listed, but if I look to the opposite side, I can see it's 4, and back up 10 to where I started. So now what I get to do, I'm going to hook these up into sets of 10 if I can. So if I do a 4 and a 4, that gives me 8 plus 2 more. So there's a set of 10. And then I can do the 3 and the 3. That'd give me 6 plus 4 more. That'd be another set of 10. And the only thing I've not hooked up is the 2. Okay. And then I also have to not forget the 10 in the tens place. So we'll just do this column first. So this column, the answer is 22. So I'm going to carry my 2. And look, I have to carry it all the way down here. Put down my 2. And 2 and 1 is 3. So if I add all that up, I'm going to get 32 feet. That's the perimeter. So I'll put equals P. Now if we do area, I'm going to erase everything I did before here on the inside. I'm going to subdivide that into 2 different rectangles. Going to go do that. Now it's clear to see here. I'm going to do 4 times 10. So let's see. I'll come over here and do 4 times 10 plus. And then on this one, the longest side is 4 and the shortest side is 2. So we'll do 4 times 2. So this is going to give me area here. 4 times 10 is 40. Plus 4 times 2 is 8. So my area equals 48 feet squared, because remember, area is measured in squares. What is the length of the pencil? So we start at the 0. We go all the way to where it's marked, which is, you can see right here. It's the 3rd tick mark over. The last whole number we passed was 8. And if we start here, we've got 1, 2, 3 out of 4 hops altogether, so 8 3/4. It does not tell us if this is inches or centimeters, so I'm just going to say units. It's a unit of length. And that's it for today.